entertainment capital of the world, it's the Joe Cortez Show.
Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and boxing capital of the world. But I tell you, my co-host again, Shelly Stevens.
Hey.
Great singer. Her and her husband really, they do it up every week. I love it. I mean, amazing music. We were there Wednesday night, and we had some friends of yours that came in.
Oh, did we have so much fun that
Can you
night?
tell a little bit about your friends?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so back in the day, after I got out of college, my first job in Philly was working at a bank. And there was another guy that worked at the bank there also that we became really good friends. And so eventually, you know, I was doing like Broadway musicals, and I wanted to see the world too. So I became a flight attendant with Pan Am. So I got hired with Pan Am, and Pan Am gave me the job, but I had to be based in Florida. And I'm like, oh, my God, how am I going to get to Florida? You know, I'm going to need my car, and I'm going to need this and that and the other. And I didn't want to drive all the way to Florida by myself, but I needed my car. So Terry, being my best friend at the time, he says, well, I'll ride down there with you, you know, and then I'll fly back. And I was like, would you do that? He said, yeah. So anyway, he drove down with me. He loved Florida so much, he ended up moving there. And so we stayed friends and stayed close ever since. And, you know, but he eventually went back to Philly, and there's a group of guys that he hangs out with. They come to Las Vegas every year to watch the games, to do whatever the guys do when they're here on a guys trip. And they came to Lola's the other night, and they all, of course, love you and honor your career and everything. So I said, you got to come down and say hi to my friends, which, of course, you did. So we have a little picture of them, too. And so, oh, my God, we just had so much fun. We bring back so many good memories and everything. Yeah, there they go. That's Terry. He's in between Wesley and me. And then I got you on my other side, and then all his friends from Philly. So, hey, guys, miss you already. And we'll hope to see you next year when you come back again.
Yeah, for sure. They're a good bunch of guys that love your music.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
love boxing, so that was good. Really good time.
Yeah, you're looking mighty sharp today in your blue.
I'm always, hey, you blue or blue?
Well, you know, we always match. You know, the second twice as nice when we're on the show, right? You know, me and Wesley always match. Well, I wanted to ask you something, though. What's that pin for that you have on your lapel?
Oh, this pin here?
Yeah.
This is my FBI. I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen of the FBI Citizens Academy.
Okay.
Every state has an academy, Citizens Academy, and I graduated from the class 2004. And you know, it's something that we do. We go to these meetings every couple of months. Have a meeting with the FBI, and we're a Citizens Academy. And not that I'm an FBI agent, but we're involved with them, and we're able to see a lot of things that are going on. Some people do some crooked things out there, some bad things out there, and I keep my eyes on these guys.
Good.
Whenever they do, anybody do something bad, my duty, if you see it, say something.
That's right.
That's what they say. So you know, if I see something wrong, I say something about it.
Yeah.
But that's you guys out there, watch out. I'm watching you.
That's right. Don't mess with Joe.
No, but it's an honor to be. I graduated with Joe Brown and a lot of individuals. I mean, high-end individuals here in town that graduated with me 2004.
Yeah.
And I remember the agent in charge at the time was Ellen Knowlton, and Ellen, she was in charge of the agent in charge. I mean, she's in charge of the whole FBI in Nevada back then. She retired ever since, and her husband, he was in charge of the Sky Marshals, and with the FBI, with the Sky Marshals, they have a different, like a unit where they have all these individuals go on the planes. They look like normal individuals, but actually they're agents. They're watching the plane. After 9/11, so many things happened, but they created agents in the airlines.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, but Ellen Knowlton was a great individual. I spoke to her last week to see how they're doing, because, I mean, years go by, I don't talk to these people. I see them on my phone. Ellen Knowlton, let me call her up. And she called me back. She was so nice, you know. And she's retired. Her husband retired now. So they were vacationing, I think she was in Oregon. They're having a good time. But I'm involved with them, with the agency, FBI, which is a good thing. Something special to be involved with, you know.
Yeah.
I see things, a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't know about, and I can't even talk about it. But there's a lot of things that go on, and like I said before, if you're doing something wrong, be careful. I'm after you. I'll go right after you.
That's right. Don't mess with Joe.
anyway, but I enjoy doing that. That's what our pen is about.
Oh,
Yeah, every time we go
that's
to the
beautiful.
meeting, they give us a pen or they always
Yeah.
give us something with when we go to these meetings every other month.
Yeah, you're great with that. You're always doing something for the community.
2004.
And for people.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I wanted to mention to you also that we perform at Lola's on 5 nights a week now, and Channel 13, which you just did an interview with, it was called Vegas Sports or something new program they have,
it was
right?
on Channel 13. With Jesse Vargas, former WBA welterweight champion. Him and I were guests on the show, just talking about our background, a little brief story about his background and my background. I refereed him a couple of times, but. So we talked a little bit about boxing. It was very nice. Yeah,
good. It was really good. Yeah, and Willie from Channel 13, he always comes to Lola's all the time. And he's going to be actually doing a feature about Lola's. They're coming to the restaurant. It's going to be the first time they ever shot off location outside of the studio. And they're going to be all up in the kitchen, and TJ and Carlos, the owners, they're going to be explaining about how they make all the food and all that good stuff. So
they're going to be nice.
Yeah, see how you pull people together. All the positive people in Vegas, they all start at Lola's. We met Joe, and Joe brings his people there. We bring our people. We have such a good following there now.
Yeah, we're good following people that come there. TJ and our husband Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos a Cuban.
Yeah.
And he became a U.S. citizen November last year. And it was fun. And he has a tattoo on his arm that says "We the People."
Yeah.
I got a tattoo on his arm. Very nice.
Yeah.
And he had Lori and Kelly.
Laurie, Kelly, Lexi. It's so many people. Jaime, all of them. They're all
they
family.
all work there. They treat you like family. But then the people that come there, the regular customers, they're like family too. They come every week.
Yep.
If we're not there, they say, "How come Joe's not here?"
Exactly. That's why you got to be there. Speaking of which, Paul is coming on Saturday.
Paul, our friend Paul, he's the CEO of a company called Par 3 here in Las Vegas.
Landscaping.
Landscaping, does all the golf courses, landscaping, all the hotels. He does a real good, big job. Par 3, so popular here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a great job. I think he has about 700 employees, if I'm not mistaken. He's a good guy. Every Saturday he come by. Except the last couple of Saturdays he was
on the ranch, his ranch.
He was on his ranch in Utah, right?
Yeah, for the 4th of July holiday, he was out there.
He went out there.
TJ and Carlos went.
Carlos and TJ went.
Yeah, they
had a good time.
did. They had a great time.
Yeah.
Saw all the pictures and videos and everything.
Any horses?
Yeah. He has horses, and it's just beautiful.
I'm not a horse guy. One time I bought a horse in Puerto Rico when I was working at the El Conquistador Hotel. And a friend of mine said, "George, there's a guy selling a horse. Would you like to buy it?" I said, "Well, I don't know. What the hell am I going to put the horse at?" He said, "I got a place you can leave it at." I said, "All right." So I went and looked at the horse, and I got on him, and the guy hit the horse in the back, and the horse took off. And I said, "Man, trying to hold the horse," and I pull the thing, pull it back, and the horse stopped real quick. It stopped, and I went flying over the horse, and I landed on my feet. I said, "Oh, what the hell?"
God, that was lucky you landed on your feet. See, you always land on your feet.
Good thing I didn't land on my head. I landed on my feet. I said, "Hey, man, what are you doing that for? You crazy?" He said, "Joe, I was only playing around." I said, "Don't play around like that, man. Someone get hurt like that."
You have so many incredible stories. I'll tell you, I'll be so happy when you write your book. I know you're in negotiations with somebody who's going to be writing your book real soon.
We're talking to two individuals that are
great.
There's so much I can talk about my life. There's so many things. But some of the good things that I learned in life is, first of all, my family. I got beautiful little girls.
Yep.
Cindy, Sandy, and Christine.
Yeah.
And I got Sylvia. And I tell you, it's a nice family, and we all went to Puerto Rico back in 1969. After I was born and raised in New York. But Sylvia wanted to go to Puerto Rico, so we went to Puerto Rico. And I was there. I said, "Where the heck am I going to get a job at?" So I went to her brother, who was working at the El Conquistador Hotel. He said, "Joe, there's an opening there. They just opened up the hotel less than a year ago. They need some people at the front desk." So I went to the front desk, and I applied for a job with a guy named Ricky Vergara. I never forget his name. And he said, "Yeah, I can use you, Joe. You're bilingual. You speak Spanish." I said, "Yeah, I speak Spanish and English." And I'm not like you. I know you speak about 4 or 5 languages. I know you sing it.
I don't speak it. I sing it.
But anyway, I went there, and he hired me, and I was working at the midnight they call it the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
And I was working as a front desk clerk.
Yeah.
And when they had the typewriter, and you had I was typing the folios with the name of the guest that just checked in, the room number. And they had a folder, not like it is today, but the computers. Back in those days, it was a typewriter. Anyway, I didn't know how to typewrite, but I learned real quick there. Before you know it, they made me fun of his manager. 6 months later, after the guy was in charge, Ricky Vergara, he decided he was going to move back to the States. So I took over his position. I became fun of his manager. I said, wow, I like that, you know. Then I got the bug about I want to go back to boxing. I had retired already from boxing as a professional, and I came back, made a comeback in Puerto Rico while I was working at the El Conquistador Hotel. And Lou Piro, who was the owner of the hotel, he said, Joe, I hear that you were a boxer back in your days. I said, yes, I was. I was trying to make a comeback. I'm looking for a manager. He said, what do you have to, what qualifications to be a manager? I said, well, somebody like yourself, somebody who can just support me and sponsor me as a fighter. He said, okay, I'll do that. Then I had one more fight. I went for a Dominican fighter by name Sal LaChapelle. I never forget the name. And my last pro fight in 1971 in Puerto Rico. And I won the fight with no problem. I came home clean, but then the family was like, don't, we don't want you to fight no more. You don't have to be doing that. You got a nice little job now. So I told Mr. Piro, Lou Piro, he was like a father to me. He was like always watching out for me. He was the owner of the hotel. Took care of me. He said, Joe, I told him, I'm not going to fight anymore. So what are you going to do, Joe? I said, in life. I said, well, I like the hospitality business. He said, Joe, he shook my hand. He said, Joe, you give me all you got, I'll make sure you get to the top. I said, thank you, Mr. Piro. And then they said, about 6 months later, there was an opening for assistant manager of the hotel. He made me assistant manager. I was a reservation manager, front office manager, then reservation manager, then assistant manager.
Wow.
Then he said, Joe, and then we're going to move you on up the ranks. I promised you I would do that. I said, okay, good. Then, about a year went by, another year goes by. He says, Joe, there's an opening for executive assistant manager. You're going to promote another step, getting closer to general manager of the hotel. I said, no, I don't want to be general manager. I just like it. Being executive assistant manager is good for me. So anyway, I did that for a while. Then my good friend that I became friendly with was Bob Guccione, the owner of Penthouse Magazine. Yeah. He the one said, Joe, I need you in New York. He was a guest at the hotel. I said, Joe, I've been watching the way you carry yourself here at the hotel. I can use my New York office. I said, do what? I need a reservation manager and to be in charge of the bookings and all the meetings we have. I said, I can really use it as an office manager. I said, I don't know. Let's see. I went up to New York. He flew me up to New York. I went up there. And he had a brownstone apartment near Fifth Avenue and 51st Street. And I went there. I said, wow, it's a really beautiful building. And he said, yeah, you know who owned this before? I said, who? He said, Judy Garland. Judy Garland. I said, wow, really? And then he said, see the room here? He took me into the living room. This is where she had the living room. All velvet furniture. There's a nice piano on the side. And then he said, I kept the room the way she had it. We didn't touch nothing of it. I left it the same way. So then, next thing you know, Lou Piro from the owner of the El Conquistador Hotel said, Joe, I heard you moving to New York. What's going on? I said, yeah, I'm going to move back to New York. I've been in Puerto Rico here 8 years already. He said, all right, you know what? I can use you in my New York office. I said, well, Bobby Guccione wants me to work at his office. He said, Joe, I need a reservation, casino operations manager. I said, wow. I said, well, casino operations manager, you could work with Cy Canner for a while, and after you learn the ropes, well, I would promote you. Between you and I, he's going to be moving on, and you're going to be replacing him. So next thing you know, about 6 months later, I'm already casino operations manager. I had 3 casinos in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
The El San Juan, the El Conquistador, the Palace Hotel, those 3 casinos. And then I said, how about Sylvia? He said, Sylvia, you know what? Well, you gave me a tough time, Joe. You want everybody, you bring your whole family here? I said, just Sylvia and myself. He said, all right, I'm going to make a reservation manager for the 4 properties. Nice. We have 3 casino properties and 1 non-casino. So we did that for another 7 years. So that was part of my adventure as coming back to New York.
That's amazing.
But Lou Pugh was like he treated me like a father that I never had. 'Cause I grew up with a single parent. My mother raised us by herself. And Lou Pugh was like a second father. I still dream about him. He's the one man that opened the doors for me to get to becoming who I am in life. Yeah.
I know. We have so much in common, I'll tell you, but besides boxing, my husband is like an avid boxing fan, seriously. So, of course, when we all met, it was always love at first sight. And then just to be welcomed in your home with your family, because they know our family's out east. And I don't get a chance to see our kids or grandkids or great-grandkids, as often as I would like to. But we're going back in September. Finally, yes, we're going to get a chance to go back in September. Yeah. But on the way, we're making a stop in Michigan. So shout out to Bob Kellogg, good friend of ours that we met through another good friend of ours, Sal Santiago. Yeah. And Sal introduced us to Bob. And after that, it was just like you. It was love at first sight. So yeah, we're going to stop by and see Bob in Michigan and keep on traveling to Philadelphia and the suburbs and Jersey to see the family.
Yeah, Bob, I met him once here in Las Vegas. One day he called me one day on the phone. He want to say hello. I said, what? After talking to you, he want to talk to me. I said, he seems like a real nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
I'm looking forward to seeing him again. He's coming soon to Vegas.
Yeah.
Is he coming to Vegas soon?
I don't know if he's coming to Vegas soon. I don't know. But I'll check with Megan and Tommy. Megan and Tommy, who also like family, and they come to Lola's all the time. And they're good friends with Bobby. Tommy grew up together with Bobby. They played basketball together and everything. So, yeah, we all talk all the time.
I saw Tommy and his wife, Megan.
Yeah.
They were last week at Lola's.
Yeah.
And they were talking. He said, Joe, we got so much to talk about. I said, wow, great. So anyway, but everybody was pulling me all over the place. I couldn't sit down. I sat down with them maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But he was a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. Joe, you're the official host of Lola's. We got Laurie as our hostess, but you're definitely the host.
Well, I like to go to all the tables and shake hands with everybody.
Yeah, because everybody knows and loves you.
I mean, they keep coming back, they keep coming back to bring more people. They say, Joe, this guy wants to meet you. Got more people want to meet you.
Yeah.
I said, I'm a regular guy. I said, we've been watching you since we were this big.
No.
Or watching you on TV. I did. One thing about boxing did open up a lot of doors for me. I met a lot of nice people out there. There's some people that needed some help and needed some guidance, and I was able to help them. I think boxing is opening a lot of doors for me to open the doors for them. People out there there's a lot of people that sometimes you guys see people out there that actually really need some help. They have either they were into drugs, they were into doing the wrong things in life, and one thing I can say, Shelly, I thank God that I got into boxing because when my brother Mike and I got into boxing, Gaspar Ortega, who was a welterweight contender from Mexico, from Tijuana, came up to New York back in the mid-'50s. When I met him, I was about 12 years old. And I remember he got me on the right track. If it wasn't for Gaspar Ortega and Lou Puro, those two guys, those two men are the two guys in my life, they kept me on the right track. I mean, I never went to jail. I never got arrested. I've been doing so many good things. I became a deputy constable here in Las Vegas. I've been to the White House on many occasions. I would say over 5 occasions to the White House. I've been with 4 presidents of the United States. One-on-one. One day, I tell you, I must say, I remember I was friends with Bill Clinton. I got to meet him, and he gave me a picture that we took together. He signed it back to me, autographed, and I was with President George W. Bush.
Yeah,
they called me one day after being at the White House at a meeting that we had, a Hispanic Heritage Month. I went to Washington, D.C. for a meeting. I was in a room with him, only like 25 of us. And then he got to meet me, and then we were talking about me being a fighter and then being a referee. I was an active referee at the time. And he says, I don't have much time for watching boxing, but I see you several times on TV. We became good friends. Next thing you know, his secretary called me and said, Joe, the president wants you to be a MC for him at an event they're having in California. And I went and did that. Then they called me for another event in Florida. They called me for another event in New York. Next thing you know, I said to myself, wow, man, that's from President Bush. But President Clinton, I spent a couple hours with him in D.C. I've been with President Carter, and and President Bush was who was to promote the fights in Atlantic City at the time, and I went. Mike Tyson was doing the fights, and I remember I was in the ring of Muhammad Ali, and I look at the other man. He was Donald Trump. He's the owner. He was in the ring as well. He was shaking hands with Muhammad Ali and Donald Trump, and they introduced all of us. And I said to myself, this guy, that Donald Trump, I met him when he was in his 30s. And this guy, even way before anybody even thought about him running for president. But the thing was, he did what he did. Anyway, the thing is that with President Bush, I got a call one day from a guy named I never forget the name, Langley. It was on the phone, on my message, called Mr. Langley at Washington, D.C., at the White House. So I called him up, said, yes, anything, can I help you? He said, yes, we got a message here for you. We have to go meet President Bush is coming into Las Vegas on Air Force One. And when he comes on Air Force One, I want you to be on the tarmac. When he comes in, you could be you, I said, me and who else? He said the governor, which was Governor Gwynn, and Lieutenant Governor Lorraine Hunt. Attorney General at the time was Brian Sandoval, who later became governor. And myself, the four of us. And when he came down, President Bush came downstairs. When he comes down the steps, we there to greet him on the tarmac. He comes to me first. He said, "Hey, Joe, how you doing? When you going to referee again?" And I see the governor, Lieutenant Governor, and the Attorney General looked like, "What the hell, man? Joe's only a referee. I'm the governor." But anyway, that was a great experience. I I mean, when you get somebody, a little skinny Puerto Rican like me, come here to Las Vegas, and they say, I'm meeting the president, coming down the stairs, President Bush. Yeah. But Clinton, I think, was one of the nicest presidents I ever met. He was real nice. Yeah. And I met him at the White House as well. Wow. They had an unveiling of a commemorative stamp, missing war, prisoner of war, mission and action stamp, a commemorative stamp. Yeah. And they did the unveiling with the postmaster at the White House, at the Rose Garden. They had a big tent, like hold about 500 people. I was in there, and I got in there with a singer named Pat Murphy, who was a country western singer here in Las Vegas, and I was helping him out. I became friends with him. I getting some bookings for him at different hotels and private events. And he said, "Joe, I was invited to go to the White House." He said, and I told the president, because the president had spoken to him he gave Pat Murphy, he made Pat a face of hope. Every state has a face of hope. Okay. And President Clinton made Pat Murphy a face of hope in Nevada. And then when he told him, Pat Murphy was in a hospital with Agent Orange for the military. Oh, wow. And he had open heart surgery. And he got a call at his house, and the wife said, he's in the hospital. So the White House called the hospital, and the president wanted to speak with Pat. And so he spoke with Pat at the hospital. He told Pat, yeah, I'm in the hospital, I got open heart surgery. He said, "Gee, I'm surprised to hear that. You look so good and so young." But Pat was already in his mid-50s, but with Agent Orange, he was not doing that well. But anyway, next thing you know, he got a call. Pat said, "Joe, they want you and I to go to the White House for the unveiling of the commemorative stamp." So I said, so we went up there, and the next thing you know, President Clinton got to meet me with Pat, and next thing you know, he told me that I was a referee. They said, he brought me inside where he had the rope, where they're doing the presentation. He brought me inside the rope where he was at. He called me, he said, "Give me a photographer." They said, he's taking a picture, him and I, and I'm pointing out a picture of him and I, a glove that I have for him. So him and I will be together posing for that picture, and he sent it back to me autographed. Oh. So it was really nice. Good experiences in life. Yeah. There's so much I've done in my life. I was a deputy constable. I was hired by the deputy constable by Lou Tabbitt in North Las Vegas. So I was a deputy constable. I was dressed just like Metro Police with my gun, my cars, my handcuffs, everything. You name it. But the only thing was different was my North Las Vegas deputy constable. And I did that for about 4 years. Then they wanted residency for me to move to North Las Vegas. I had just bought a nice house here in Las Vegas, Clark County. So I stayed here. I resigned. So I did it for 4 years. But then after that, when I got called in to go as an FBI citizen, FBI Academy, I'm an alumni of the FBI. This is proudly wear this badge because I help a lot of people out there. People that need some help. They need some guidance. I'll be able to get you on the right track. And you guys are doing the wrong things. Watch out. But anyway, I love doing all these things, Shelly. I've been doing a lot of the good things in life. I like to help out the senior citizens out there. And we had a bunch of senior citizens the other day. And Lola, they were dancing away.
Yep.
I sent you a video of the one guy that was dancing away. That short guy, but he had some great moves, man.
I know, right? Oh my God. And we love doing stuff for the seniors too. You know, Wesley and I, we perform at the senior citizen homes all around town on occasion, you know, when we're not busy at Lola's. But we're at Lola's 5 nights a week, so we can only do it like on Mondays and Tuesdays. The second Tuesday of every month, we're at the German American Club. And last Tuesday we were there, and it was packed. And there were so many people that just want to come out and dance and have a good time.
Right.
And, you know, we actually played overtime. You know, it's like the people there, German American Club.
Nice,
Shout out to
it's
them.
nice. I tell you, it's nice, you know. I want to say a quick shout out to my grandchildren. Ayana, she's going to college now, San Diego State. Then we got Maya, my second granddaughter. Then I got Ricky, my first grandson. Then I got Bryce with my second grandson. And then I got Izzy. You met Izzy? She's 2.5 years old.
That's a sweetheart.
And you see how she's a little...
She's so smart.
Little firecracker. She's all over the place.
Yes,
She's
she
taught
is.
so well for 2.5 years old. Well, hello to all my beautiful family out there. I love you guys.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so funny how we met and we have so much in common. You know, it's like both you and me and Wesley, we have our 3 different experiences with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. I was like, oh, this union was meant to be. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I got to meet Muhammad Ali. The first time I met him, I took my daughter, I met him in Puerto Rico. And you guys were performing at the El San Juan Hotel. That's where I met Muhammad Ali. He was fighting Jean-Pierre Koopman in Puerto Rico on San Juan. And that's when I first met Muhammad Ali. But I met him again in New York. I took my daughter, Christine, who was at the time. I mean, 10 years after I came back 11 years after I came back from Puerto Rico, Christine was born.
Oh.
So then that's when I saw Muhammad Ali again. He was at some promotional event I went to. I took Christine with me. And she was about 3 or 4 years old. And he picked her up, and she was so nervous. He picked her, he said, what a beautiful little girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
And then I got to referee Muhammad Ali's daughter on 2 occasions.
Really?
Yeah, and I never got to referee Muhammad Ali because when he was retiring, that's when I was just going into the pros. So I was just started there.
Yeah.
So it took me like 2 or 3 years before I got to do anything big before.
Yeah, I think
Before-
Wesley met Muhammad Ali one time. They were performing. I'm not sure where it was, but Muhammad Ali was boxing somewhere. I forgot which country it was. But anyway, he was at training in Deer Lake.
Yeah.
And that's in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, right.
Yeah. So I think Wesley was doing a concert when he was with the Stylistics. And so Muhammad Ali came to the rehearsal or something at the show, and then he invited Wesley to come to Deer Lake, you know. So he had this old picture with him and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it.
Yeah, and then I met him when I was a flight attendant with Pan Am, and he was on my flight in first class, and he made me go to economy and bring all the little kids that were sitting back there up to the front first class, and they were all sitting around him, and he pulled out and did magic tricks for the kids.
Yeah, he was great.
So sweet.
He was great with magic and great with the kids.
Yeah. I told you we have so much in common. I have to shout out Delilah Matos. She's in Chicago, right? She always says she enjoys our shows where it's just the 2 of us talking.
Yeah,
So we got to say hi, Delilah.
She's a hell of an amateur referee. She's doing a great job, and she's on her way to the pro ranks.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And she's
real
so
soon.
dedicated to her cancer patients that she takes care of, too.
She takes your cancer patients. Yeah, she takes care of them, but she
Yeah.
takes care of herself too.
Yes, she does.
She's in good shape. She does some boxing clinics.
Yeah.
She was a fighter herself, a couple of fights, but she's been refereeing amateur fights out for the last couple of years. She's outstanding. Hopefully, we turn her pro. I want to see females going to the pro ranks. There's a couple of female referees out there, but we need some more out there. You know,
Oh, my God.
I would take my daughters to be referees, but they're not cut out for that.
No, neither am I.
But Delilah definitely is cut out.
Yeah.
I've seen her work. I saw up in Alaska. She was working in a Golden Glove tournament. I saw her work. I said, man, this girl can referee. She's referee better than some of the pro referees I see out there working today. I said, this girl going to go places.
Yep.
Mark my word.
Yeah.
Delilah
Matos.
Matos, for Chicago.
Yes, love her so much.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I got to meet her once or twice, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this week it's been a special week to lay back a little bit. The weather in Vegas has been like over 110 for the last week and a half. It'll be like that for another 7, 8 more days. We're going to say thank you so much for listening to us. Just a little bit about our personal background. You see how we are caring-loving people. We're not here to brag. We're not here to be the best of the world. We just have to show you that we love you and we care for you.
That's right.
Okay?
And we'll see you at Lola's tonight. We start at 6.
And my undisputed champion here, Shelly Stevens. Take care.
right.
See you next week.
Bye.
Live from Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, it's the Joe Cortez Show.